Sorry,
So
Mr. Ruth, with you and Miss Ruth. I came on late, unfortunately. You guys were literally turning off when I came on.
yeah, we try and do it a little bit earlier because she takes some medication that makes her sleepy. So we have to do it a little bit earlier so we can work around her. She is the boss, right?
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
So you might hear some rumbling. We've got thunder overhead.
I get it. Yeah, oh yeah, we had it all day long here, boy. It was just coming. So yeah.
Yeah. So I know we had discussed that you were going to talk about APO addresses.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Miss Kathy. Hi, Dana. Hope you guys doing okay. So yes, we have a nice discussion regarding um, care packages.
Yes.
All right. So, you want me to go over how they're supposed to look like, or start with the wrong ones?
Either way you want. You're the one with the notes.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with the wrong ones because though that's usually they're very small. You know what? No, we'll go the correct way, and then we'll go and we'll do the wrong way. Okay, guys. So I know a lot of times people get into the talking with somebody. They're military, they're overseas, and they want you to send them something. All right. So if you're gonna send anything, all right, then if you want, there is soldiers overseas, real soldiers overseas. So you can
Right.
contact your local station and see if there's any unit over there. So you always want to start off with the full name and rank. Okay, that's the first line. The top. Why do you think this is the first line? Easy, because that's the most important, right? Because that's who he's going to. Understand it?
Right. Right.
So you got to have the full name and the appropriate rank. All right. Now, next is going to be the unit that you're working with. So if you're going to get, say, I'm going to use you. Hi, Jen.
Hi,
Um,
Jenny.
say it's going to be Sergeant Major, right? Sandy.
Right.
The unit's going to be the 100, beat you up battalion. Okay, so again, it's going to start off with the full name and the rank, and it's going to be the unit. Okay, the unit can have a box number. Okay, so it could be like, for example, again, the 100 beat 'em up battalion, box number, whatever it is. Okay, so that's gonna be the second line. The third line, and this is where it's very important, everyone. So hope everyone's paying attention. Hi, Maisie. Hope everyone's paying attention. It's the military postal code. Okay, so the military postal code is going to be three letters. Ooh, excuse me. It's going to be three letters. Okay, so the first one we'll go over is APO, Alpha
Okay.
Papa Oscar, APO. And that stands for Army and Air Force Installations. So if we have Sergeant Major Sandy with the 100 Beat You Up Battalion, it's going to be, and she's Army, it's going to be APO. She's Air Force, APO. Now, if it's for Navy or say if they're on a ship, like
Okay.
any Navy or even Coast Guard, it's going to be FPO. So
Okay. I've heard
Foxtrot
that before.
Papa Oscar. So Army and Air Force A, Navy is going to be F. Now, if it's say for example, because a lot of times they'll get the ones that I'm on an embassy in the middle of Syria doing missions. Now, if they're on an embassy or any type of diplomatic place, it's going to be DPO, Delta Papa Oscar, DPO. So that'll be the proper military postal code. You have to have those because
Right.
if you don't have them properly, they won't accept it. They won't give it to that soldier. Trust me, they're just gonna crush it right out. Now, the next if they're in the say for example they're in the so instead of a traditional place. You also got to put so APO. and there's gonna be two more letters after that. Okay, because I think a lot of times you'll see.
Who's doing the balloons there?
I think I give the two, and it did that. Okay, so so you have the military postal code. So again, we'll say Sergeant Major Sandy, she's Army, so it's APO. Now, if it's going to be overseas, say it's Middle East, again, Syria, it's
Right.
going to be APO, and it's going to be AE, APO, AE. Or if it's going to be out in the Pacific, say Hawaii or Japan, it's going to be, and usually you have Navy or Marines up there. It should say, when you write it out, FPO, AP. AP is basically Armed Forces Pacific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the AE should be Armed Forces Europe, Middle East, even Canada has the AE.
Okay.
Okay. And then, if anything, if you have, like, say, for example, if they're in the Latin Americas, Central Americas, it's going to be double A, AA. So if they're, and that's usually going to be Navy most likely, being or it could be Army. But so if it's say Navy, FPO, AA. If it's Army, APO, AA. And then last but not least, the zip code. Okay, they don't. You can use the typical 5-number zip code, but they're going to want the zip code plus the extra four digit code as well.
Yeah, the U.S. has gone to that,
So
especially for, I see it for business letters.
absolutely. So and it's and trust me, that's where I used to get when I was deployed. That's how it always looked like. So it should look like a lot. Okay, because again, it's going through customs, it's going through a lot of hands, and I want to make sure that it gets directly to the person. Okay, everybody. So I'll give you guys again. I'll give you another example. We'll say I'm a Navy person, so I'll be Petty Officer Cesar Camacho. My unit is 100 Camacho Battalion, box 40108. And if I'm Navy, what I'm doing Navy, FPO. And
FPO.
obviously, I'm most likely to be in the Pacific, so FPO AP, and then the zip code. It's that easy. And when if it's say you go to you're sending someone to an embassy, Cesar Camacho, Sergeant Cesar Camacho, unit, it's 84th Battalion, box number is 1000, DPO, and I'm in Syria AE, and then the five, well, actually the 9-digit zip code.
Right.
So that's how it's supposed to look like, everybody. And if you guys want, if anyone's interested, you can contact Miss Sandy, contact Miss Ruth, and or contact Miss Kathy, and I can actually go ahead and I can send them what it's supposed to look like, what's the proper, or I can send them my notes. So this way, you guys can actually get educated, can make sure that you're not sending anything bogus.
And now I've noticed with some of these care packages, some of the scammers that are pretending to be military overseas,
Yes.
they're giving websites where they can send the money to get the care package or purchase a care package or purchase towards a care package for that soldier. So we're getting fake websites. They're paying the money directly to the websites.
Oh,
And then the website is supposed to, take care of all the mailing and everything.
Roger.
So we are seeing that. So if we're going to send somebody a care package and it's the real deal, we want it to go to the name and all the address that you have mentioned, right?
Yes, correct. Because again, the more information, the more detail it is, the more exact it's a legit person, it's a legit military. Because think about it, like I said, it has to go through customs. So and the first thing they're gonna see is everything's appropriate. It's just like when we send regular mail. If the zip
Yeah,
code is incorrect, they can send it back.
right. Now, there are legitimate websites that people can donate to. for care packages for soldiers that say don't have family, or for a local group or something may get together and put in a bunch of money, and they'll contact some website, which I know that there's legit ones,
That is true. Yes.
that they can go ahead and send through there. So we have to be careful. If that soldier gives you a site, it's probably not going to be a correct one. But if you say go to the recruiter's office and say, where can I send a care package to someone who doesn't have family? They would give you a legit website or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And that's good because, like I said, like Miss Sandy said, yeah, there's definitely, you can just Google if you want to donate, send a care package, and they'll get you into the right direction. But yeah, just don't send anything out. And if you don't mind, Miss Sandy, I'm gonna go over something that's fake.
Sure.
And this is just an example. I want to thank Miss Jessica Barrett for sending me this. Because like I said, because boy, um, these fake packages could look legit, right? Miss Sandy, remember I said it to you. I mean, it looked pretty good, but there is some issues with this. And you know what? We're gonna do a check on learning, everybody. How's that sound? Can we
There
do
we
that,
go.
Miss Sandy? Can we do a check on learning?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna do a check on learning, everybody. All right, so here's your example, everybody. All right, so the first one on the first line starts APO. Is that right, or is that wrong? The first line is APO.
That would be wrong, but that's what she was given, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So
So
she's given wrong.
that's correct. So the next line is MSMC. So that's supposed to be the rank. MSMC Daniel Higgins.
Okay.
The so the person is supposed to be now. Here's the thing: the person that they were talking to claimed to be a staff sergeant, but his rank here says MSMC.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
Not at all. So that right there is totally wrong because again, we discussed has to be the proper full rank and the proper full name. So even the full name. So if there's a middle name, has to be on there. And let's be
Okay.
legit. I would honestly say probably about, I don't know, I could be wrong, but 85% of Americans have a middle name. That name has to be on there because
Yeah.
all my stuff was Sergeant First Class Caesar Anthony Camacho. That was one big thing.
Hi, Candy.
So, okay, so that was wrong. And Miss Sandy caught that. Now, here's the next line Unit 381815.
Okay. That was supposed to be part of the second line after. No, that was, let me think. Oh, anyway, continue.
Okay, right before the after the name and the rank is supposed to be your unit. So here it literally legitimately says unit. They ain't no place that it's gonna call itself its unit. So in the army, they're gonna call themselves either by company, battalion, or brigade. It's not just gonna say unit. And
So
he ran the ball
company
off a whole
X10
bunch.
or whatever.
Exactly. So like I said before, the 100th Beat You Up Battalion is the 100th, the name, and the battalion. The next they have here is box 6367, but it's connected to the unit 381815. And then right after box 6367 is FPO8E.
So they have the APO and then an FPO later.
So the FPO, remember that is for what's it called? That's for Navy, which is
Right.
fine because again, the Marines fall under the Navy.
Okay.
So that could be legit. Okay, that could be legit. But at the same time, Let's see where to go again. It says AE, meaning it's either in Europe or Middle East, which is okay. That's cool, you know. And then it says FPOAE, and then they give a 5-digit zip code.
So we
Is
need
that
4 more digits on there.
there? You go. We need a total of 9. See, and again, people, when they give you that information, you're not thinking about it. You're just saying, man, I gotta send this person something because something happened over there, and I'm so emotionally invested in this because he or she's gonna marry me.
Right.
We're gonna have kids together. They're gonna all these promises, and I have to uphold myself because I'm patriotic and supportive.
Well,
So,
and I know the person that you're talking about because I sent her to you.
hmm?
Um, but I know she said, well, I Googled the APO or the FPO or whatever it was, and she said it was a correct one. And I said, look, this is something that Caesar can help you with.
Yeah,
He would know more about it. But just Googling that,
yeah,
uh, it can bring up, something that is correct, but you need the rest of the information with it.
exactly. And again, I was just bring up again that rank MSMC. I never heard of that in the Marines.
Well, I was thinking like staff sergeant, if they were to abbreviate it, it would be like SSG
That's
or
correct.
SSGT, depending on
Yeah.
which
Hmm.
branch you're from.
Roger. So
So,
so yeah, so it'd be SSGT for Marines, and for the Army is SSG.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it had to be with whatever branch you were from, but I just couldn't remember which was which.
Roger. And he had it as MSMC, but he was a staff sergeant for the Marines. So that right there is one big no go. So yeah, so there you go. I know that was a lot, everybody. I know it probably was like, oh my goodness, that,
Well, and
that is a
you've
lot.
got notes there, so go ahead and send them to me or Ruth or something. We can put something on the page and say, "Hey, this is the incorrect format. This is the correct format." So if you're talking to somebody with this format, but then again, scammers learn from our page too.
That they do, but you know what? They do, but I'll be honest with you, they still don't learn their lesson.
Right.
Because they're still going to do it because again, they're just going to they're going to find somebody that's going to respond to them.
And there are plenty of people that do, which is, a sad situation. But there are a lot of people that are in military romance scams. And yes, I am American and I would support our troops any way
Mhm.
that I can.
Roger.
Uh, and actually, this is my way of supporting the troops, especially the ones that get used.
Yeah,
So, people want to, and even all over the world, military demands respect. And so you're going to support that respect because you have that respect for them. So it's easy to fall into a military romance scam and want to support that person, even though they don't need a dime.
yeah, and again, I think I want to say I think it was Miss Ruth that talked about it. It's that's the number one moneymaker in their country. Number one.
Right. Now, I mean, if somebody's going to send a care package, you're talking like socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, uh, just simple stuff like that. You're not talking cookies. Yeah,
Cookies,
yeah, cookies.
pretzels, all that. I tell you, it's like Christmas.
Right. So you're not a care package is not going to be a box full of cash. We would
No,
hope not.
no,
So if
please,
that's what they're
anyone,
asking,
do not send cash because that's actually a federal violation if you're sending cash through a box
well,
overseas.
yeah, it is a violation. It's against the law.
That's just to get you a lot of trouble.
Right.
Ooh,
But I,
man.
I do know they do mention care packages and they'll say, I need money, iTunes cards, Google cards, whatnot. But my idea of the care package, in which I've seen on the legit sites, is, socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, cookies, and just little stuff like that that makes life a little bit easier.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Because again, socks is important. Believe me, socks is important. And what we call it, pogey bait. So it's like
Okay.
the little bags of beef jerky. It's the little things of potato chips or even pretzels. Like you said, cookies, Miss Sandy. That's what we like. But remember, everybody. So a lot of these bases that we have, American military, and they have kind of like their own little Walmart.
Right.
Okay, so they have their own little Walmart. I'm going to say it again, everybody. I know you may have heard some sob stories from other soldiers. They have a lot of these bases. They have their own. It's a post exchange. Like I said, it's basically an army Walmart. They can go in and they can get, say, pizza pockets, hot pockets. They can get Chips Ahoy cookies, Oreos. They can get their favorite flavor of drink. They can even buy sneakers. They can buy a TV. They can buy a PlayStation. So please keep in mind, everyone, even if they're in majority places. Now I can't speak for Syria because I personally never been there, but I'm sure they have a dedicated area where they can actually purchase stuff. Or if they want, they can go. A lot of times, Amazon is an amazing thing.
Yes, it is, but it doesn't deliver to people who are hidden in trees.
No, no, they do not deliver. Yes, people are hidden in trees. Yeah, so Amazon's really big now. So now soldiers can actually just order off of Amazon. Everybody, because remember, our bank accounts are never frozen.
That's true. You have access to your money at any time. You've got debit cards, credit cards, banking accounts and I know you set the direct deposit up before you even are deployed, if not when you even start the military.
Miss Sandy hit the nail right in the head. You can't enlist. You can't even leave. Say your enlistment station. You can't leave without having direct deposit. That's a fact.
Then that's perfect. But the scammers don't know that.
No.
We do. I mean, I
Yes.
worked a government job for, a long time,
Mhm.
and we were required to have direct deposit.
Yeah, we're quite 100%. Like I said, these soldiers, they're not leaving to basic training without one. They will not. They will not let them go. No matter how important this person can be, the next greatest thing, the next greatest sergeant. I mean, that's me, but
Of
but they
course it
won't let
is.
anyone go. Yeah, they won't let anybody go. Everybody without direct deposit. So so they'll have access to their money. So there you go. So please make sure, remember, they can order stuff. They have internet. They won't freeze their accounts. They can even bring their phones with them, guys. Yes. So I want to say when I first deployed back in 2006, yeah, it was recommended that we put a hold on our phones because again the technology in about 20 years ago was much
Right.
different than now. So we didn't. We just canceled. I mean, not canceled, but we paused it. We just they did the phone company wanted to see that we were we had the orders there. They said, okay, great. Be careful, and they would just pause the payments. But like I said, we couldn't use it. The phone was useless because we were overseas.
Right.
Now you can actually use your phone.
Well, there's Wi-Fi at the base.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Right.
You can use your phone. Now you can actually just pick up the phone, and be like, hi, how are you? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful, outstanding. I met one. I asked him his base location. He gave me a sad story.
A sad story for a base location. That's not quite.
So what?
That you're going to get a sad story from any military romance scam that you're in. There's always some type of story that they create in order to get you to send money or cards or Bitcoin or.
Yep, they're gonna guilt you.
Mhm.
You know, they'll play on the guilt and that obligation because you're invested somewhat, and they'll tell you. I mean, I had one told me, yeah, they told me they're risking their life every day, and you can't even give me a $50 gift card. Like, wow. But when I asked for his, he
Oh,
blocked
I'm
me.
assuming, yeah, I'm assuming she meant the APO address that they blocked. Um, some of them will do that because they don't know what that means. But when you ask a scammer for an APO address, they're going to Google that and they're going to learn it for the next person.
Ooh, that you know what, Miss? That is so fast because they should. Because again, they should tell you. It shouldn't come to no. I mean, I memorized mine before because I wanted people to send me, you know, gift cards, care packages. Because the care packages are like Christmas to us, especially when we're deployed overseas in a combat area. It was like Christmas. Didn't matter what it was. Could have been just socks. Hey, you know what? Now I got brand new socks I could wear.
Right.
You know, t-shirts, underwear. Don't matter what it was. It was amazing. Just outstanding. So just remember, people, just um, just even if you talk to them and they give you the runaround, don't listen. 'Cause here's another thing, and I think Miss Danny mentioned earlier, Google's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
If they give you the APO, if they give you the address, you don't. Sometimes you don't need the address. You can look up the unit because the unit's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be for everyone's knowledge. It's not top secret. If everyone
Right.
understands what I'm talking about, none of these units are going over is top secret. Now, whatever they're doing, maybe hush hush, quiet, don't say nothing. But you'll know that they're there. Like when my first two deployments was very hush hush. So, but my family knew where I was. She just did. My family just didn't know what I was doing, where I was at during that time. They just know I was my temporary duty station was that base. That was it. That was it. But he still knew where I was. You know what I'm
We had
saying?
somebody, yeah, we had somebody mention if they're sitting in Nigeria, can they have a text me now with a California number or a U.S. number? Yes, they can. That's very easily done. There are several different websites that you can get U.S. numbers and still be sitting in Nigeria.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I get those. I'm sure Miss Sandy probably gets those. I had one the other day that asked me if I want to have a steak dinner tonight.
Yeah, I've had a few of those invitations. Are we going out tonight? I was like, who are you? But then I've
Yeah,
also
right.
had numbers from England
Oh,
with the 4-4 country code that are saying I owe Kentucky road tax because I didn't pay it on some pay toll road. So we all get these funny numbers. Me, I just delete and block and the whole schmear.
that's it. I don't even bother with them, Miss Sandy. I
Right.
just if I get it on the phone, I report junk and I delete it.
Hmm.
That's it. Even on Instagram, I'll get those. Hey, my friend thought you were cute. Didn't want to have the guts to talk to you. So could you hit the person up? Block, delete. Very simple,
Exactly.
everybody.
Yeah, that I mean that block button is like the most wonderful thing that you can have. It's just a matter of getting your finger to, go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what you gotta do. Oh no, not the Keanu one, Miss Jenny. Is she still
Yeah,
talking?
we have too many that are talking to Keanu, and honestly, and I'm going to tell you right up front, he's not on any social media whatsoever, none. And his group, the band that he's with, Dogstar,
Yes.
they do have a verified Facebook page, and it says right on there that Keanu does not have social media.
Huh?
So anybody that you need to prove, send them to that Facebook page for Dogstar.
There you go, Miss Jenny. Kind of you mentioned before you knew that person I was talking to Keanu. Because yeah,
Oh, some people just don't want to believe, and I know even the lady you and I had been talking to,
Mhm.
she was having a hard time accepting, that she was not talking to the person in the photos and accepting, that it was not the story that she was being told.
Mhm.
Uh, I know a couple of days later, I texted her to see how she was doing, and she said, "I'm processing." That's fine. Process it.
Mhm. Oh, I'm saying.
Talk to Caesar. And then I checked on her a couple of days after that, and she said she was doing better.
Good.
So we do want people to learn. Yes, people need to process it. They need to realize that they're not talking to the person in the photos, that they're not getting that fantasy life that you've been promised, and
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
process it and
it's
move on.
yeah. And but it's hard though, because there's gonna be
Mhm.
some consequences. Because the love bombing and the gaslighting, those are really hard things to actually get over. So, but
They are. And actually, I was married to a narcissist at one time,
oh,
and I mean, still have issues. And because of the whole, the tug back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And this
rather
is what scammers do is they pull you back and forth and back and forth. And some of them just end up totally ghosting and they're gone. But others of them will come back several days later and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then they give you the guilt trip and make it sound like it's your fault that they ghosted you.
right, right. Oh yeah. And as for, I mean, what was that, Miss Gina? The ones that claim that they haven't learned, yeah. Because again, um, some fall deep into it because it's such a good feeling. You gotta remember, everyone has that. Everyone wants to be. How should we say? Flattered. Everyone wants to be told, Miss Sandy, you're so beautiful. You're my queen. I can't. Out of the five arrows from the great lion of Babylon, yours strikes the hardest the most.
Oh goodness, such poetry.
Sorry, I had that someone said that to me before, so when I was deployed. But yeah, so and again, people like that. People want to be
They do.
complimented. And then just imagine it's kind of like you get complimented. You get told that they're gonna take care of you and they're gonna love you. And the promises of marriage, the promises of meeting the family, the starting the life together,
Right.
that takes a toll. And you gotta remember too, um, there's going to be confusion for the person. There's going to be shame. That especially I can say that for being a
Yeah,
man, especially for the
shame
men
is a
victims.
big one.
Yeah, shame, because who wants to feel like I just did all this, and when the truth is revealed, it's like God darn. And then the worst part is just the depression after. People feel defeated when the truth comes out. And it doesn't matter. I mean, that's great. Guess what? Like, I can be, hey, I figured out that this person is a scammer, but I'm going to feel terrible afterwards. You know,
Right.
I'm going to feel remorseful again. I'm going to feel confused. And then it's kind of like that drug when people go through withdrawal. It's going to be the same
It
thing.
is. It is. They do go
That
through with a type of withdrawals, and I have told people you are going to miss talking to that person because you've been talking to them every day for so long,
is so long.
several
Yeah.
times a day, and you've been paid positive attention. You're going to miss the high, which it is a high.
It is a high. Oh, absolutely. All the dopamine levels go up. And again, you feel great about yourself because Keanu Reeves says I'm the most gorgeous thing he ever saw.
Right.
You know, and again, it's really terrible because a lot of times they just blame themselves. That's another big one too. The victim, he or she will blame themselves for falling for it.
They do, and sadly, there's a lot of family and friends that will shame them and blame them and tell them, why were you so stupid?
Why are you so stupid?
And
I 100% agree, and it's not the right way. You know,
no,
you need you because after they find out the truth,
aloha, Perlene.
aloha, Hawaii, Hawaii. I'm sorry, Hawaii. There you go. I said it appropriate there. But yeah, and when they start blaming themselves, I don't know if you noticed, Miss Sandy, but a lot of times when they start going through that, beating themselves up, that's when they don't report it or they don't seek help.
Right.
You
And
know?
we really want people to seek help. They lose all trust in everybody, and even themselves, which is a huge thing, is to lose trust in yourself and your
Yeah.
decision making. Um, so some people do need professional help, or they just need to, take time to breathe, process, go through all of the steps of grieving, because it is like a death, and it's
Yeah.
a death of a life you thought you were going to have. So
Oh,
you're
that's a good.
going
Yeah.
to grieve that and go through the 6, 7, 8 steps, whatever they are. But then we need you to um, learn how to love yourself, take care of yourself, go get your hair done, go get your nails done, go have a cup of coffee. And it's okay to go by yourself. It really
Table for
is.
one can be fun.
Oh, I love to go to the movies by myself. Nobody to bother my popcorn or anything.
So again, I remember that, Miss Sandy. When you go by yourself, it's gonna come behind you, just take some popcorn.
But learning to love yourself after a scam is a huge, important thing, and it's a big step towards healing. So
100%.
yeah, take the time to take that bubble bath, light some candles, read a book, learn a new hobby. Let's get over some of these scams. Um, it is hard. The scam is great while you're in it, and then when you find out, you go through all the bad stuff. But when you come out the other side, guess what? You're gonna be a stronger person.
100%. Couldn't say it better than myself. You are an actually better person. I mean, there's an old saying, right? Tough times come and go, but tough people stay.
Right.
Tough
And
people
your
stay.
good friends, they might say you're stupid at first, but then they're going to sit back and listen. The ones that are your really good friends, they will sit back and listen. Um, and some people don't have friends. I mean, I do. I'm lucky, but there are people that, as you get older, your friends fall away, and you become more of a hermit, and so you don't have anyone to talk to. But in this day and age, you can talk to a psychologist online via FaceTime, and that can be very good. You don't even have to leave your house.
Yeah. I mean, again, you try to take care of yourself, and it's still going to be tough. It's never easy.
No, it's not.
It's not, but like Miss Sandy said, you can tell yourself in the face, but you definitely gonna need a friend or two to come over. Again, have some coffee, watch a movie. Yeah. Again, cause you gotta remember too. Also, we can say love each other, look at yourself, and say you love yourself, but a lot of people don't do it. Period.
Right. And actually, we do need to. I mean,
Oh, I agree.
that is the sad thing about humans, is they're so critical of themselves that they don't love themselves. If somebody has been heavy or overweight and they lose a bunch of weight, they're still going to see themselves as overweight because that's what they see in their eyes.
Hmm.
So when you look in the mirror, you're going to say, I love you. I love the way your eyes are. I love you as a person. I love the way that your personality is. You don't have to pick your flaws on your body or your face or, whatever. Or you can say, I love the way you love others.
Yeah, that's a
Just,
good one. That's a very good one, actually. That's a very
yeah,
good one.
just
Miss
love
Sandy, come on
yourself.
now. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Oh,
Use that one.
either
That's
Caesar's
very good.
freezing up or I am.
It could be me. I'm in my new house, so and I'm literally in the middle of a valley. So
Yeah, from what I understand, in that area, the internet's not real fantastic. Because I've been up there before.
oh, okay, yeah.
And there is actually a nice little pizza joint up there. And they serve Mexican food too, but I can't think of the name of it. It was really good.
Wait, they serve pizza and Mexican food?
Yeah, it's kind of like, those things that they prepare, while you're waiting. So like
Huh?
all of the meats and cheeses are right there. So you can either get the pizza crust or you can go with the tacos or burritos.
Hmm. You don't know where this place is? I'm curious
I
now.
just know it's a little hole in the wall, and those are my favorite places because they're always the best. I could
That,
probably find out what it is, but yeah, they were pretty good.
okay, man. Man, you're making me hungry now.
Well, I'm hungry anyway. That's probably why I start talking about food. But I do know
Oh,
that area. I have been there, and I do know their internet can be kind of sketchy. So, but my area, I live, out of town, and at times the internet can be sketchy, especially if storms are moving through, which
yeah,
is what they're
yeah.
doing.
That's for me too. We're having the same thing also. So, yeah,
Um,
stinks.
so we'll get back to the military scams. We got just a few more minutes. Do you have any words of wisdom for anybody that is in a military scam?
So yeah. Um, one, always ask questions. Ask questions. If you have to, if they say, "Hi, I'm Sergeant Caesar Camacho," here's the question for you: why are you introducing yourself with your rank? I'll say this, everyone, and I'm going to use Miss Sandy as an example. Miss Sandy, did I ever introduce you to you myself as Sergeant Caesar Camacho?
No,
I introduced me
never.
as what? Caesar.
Right.
So right there, guys, if they introduce themselves automatically with their rank, or even if they're real, that's just can I say asshole in here? Okay, because that's just an asshole. That's all it is. Because either they're an asshole or they are fake. Okay, so ask questions. Okay, feel free to look up if they also say, for example, um, hey, I'm over in Syria. What did we talk about earlier today? What's their unit? Ask them
Right.
what their unit. And if they tell you, Google it. Just Google a unit. So he said he was in the 100th Beat You Up Battalion. There's 100th Beat You Up Battalion. And they are located right now. Oh, they're in, say, South Carolina. But he said they're in
Syria. But
any of
and
those.
I honestly, I've been told if they say where they are deployed to a total stranger online, that is not right.
That is a very big red flag. Yes, that's 100%. Like I said earlier, you can I can say, hey, I'm over at Camp Sandy. But like I said, but I'm not going to tell you, oh, today I was in Camacho Village, and then tomorrow I'm going to be in Caesar Lake. No, you can still say, hey, I'm in Camp Sandy, and that's it. But again, won't tell you that because
Yeah.
again, there's really no need.
No.
There isn't. You know, if they're really people, they would just say, "Hi, I'm Caesar. What's your name?" You know, and plus, if they're in Yemen or Jordan, or I mean, all these outside Middle East places, or even Israel. So I've heard some that are in Israel. Why are they looking for love?
Right. And
I'll tell you this: for my single soldiers that I had, they did not look for love. You know what they were doing? They were looking up their friends that they knew from where they're from, because that's where they're going back. That was it. They didn't go on Tinder. They didn't go on Plenty of Fish. They didn't go on any of these dating sites. They didn't go and looking for a sporadic search to find somebody. That's not it. Say
okay, just
Afghanistan, and I don't just yeah. Oh,
there's no U.S. military in Afghanistan. It hasn't been since August of 2021.
there you go, Miss CNSS right there.
Hey, I've got that memorized.
Yeah. But yeah, on the front line looking for women. And you know what, everybody? There's no more front line. I just gotta let you guys know that. So front line, if someone used front line, I mean, maybe. So okay, so I'm gonna say this: the authentic front line is when back in the days of like when England and say France were ready to fight, and they did that gentlemanly thing. They marched to the
Oh,
middle and they stood up there, and whoever was in the front line was usually the one that got killed first.
right.
So as time went on, you always hear the combat guys or whoever went outside of the base. They would say, "Oh." Right now, if there is any type of say resistance, say when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of times that if I was engaged in any type of, we'll just say, activity,
Uh-huh.
it was reactive. So a lot of the um, combat was more reactive than proactive. If it was proactive, it was very hush hush. It was
Yeah, I
quiet.
would say so.
It was quiet. So if my unit would go out and say we were gonna, I don't know, get a bad guy at his house, you didn't hear about it. I didn't say I was on the front line. We just went, got him, and arrested him, and bring him back, and detain him, put him in a detention facility. That was it. So if you ever hear I'm in the front lines, no. If I'm on patrol, not really. Because a lot of the military members that are out there, a lot of them, and I'm not going to speak, I'm not going to say what I'm saying, my more opinion. So just let everyone know, mine's more opinion right now at this point. But a lot of them are training their counterparts. So if I'm an infantryman, and say if I am going to Syria, right, because there's a small contingency in Syria, I'm going to be training the Syrian army on how to shoot, how to maneuver, how to go around the walls, how to run, how to move, and so forth. That's why majority of them are there. Okay,
Yeah, I
because
think I
it's
read that somewhere.
Roger. Because it's like, for example, say if they are, because we don't want to spark, say, any how should you say? We don't want to spark, say, a foreign leadership saying, wait, why is America attacking this village? Because it could look
Right.
very bad. You see what I'm saying, everyone? So so they're saying they're doing constant patrols. They're wrong. They're not doing constant patrols. Sorry.
Yeah, I know we do hear that a lot. I can't talk right now. I'm going out on patrol.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
idea of patrol is walking around the edges of the base just checking. I mean, that's just my idea of what patrol is. It is not going out and being aggressive towards anyone else.
Roger, and also the patrol when they're with the scammer is wanting you to believe is that they're actually going into a different village and just walking around. So they're doing a patrol. But during the war on terror, yeah, you did have patrols, but those were more of how should we show force.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was show force. It wasn't to go and capture. Like I said, those were more quieter. Those were more smaller units, quick and fast. There's no one going on patrol, and plus, if they were going out the wire, they're not calling anyone and telling them that.
true. And now this is the funny one. No general is going to be out on patrol. Never.
No, that is. Are you listening, everybody? Did anyone hear that? Let me get a thumbs up from people if you actually hear that. No general, no colonel. They don't go out. Maybe back in like World War II,
Right.
that was probably the last time. Even in Vietnam, they were held back, or Korea. Yeah, you're not gonna have a general going over and yeah, okay, so general calling the shots. Sure. Guess what? They're gonna have a meeting. They're gonna have a brief, and they're gonna give them. They're gonna talk to all the majors and the warrants, and sergeant majors. They're gonna say this is what we want, and all the other ones right below them are gonna discuss what needs to happen. And then they come to me and they say, "Cut." They say, "Caesar Camacho, execute." And there you go. Yeah, generals are not going out. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot lately. Is General? Let me think. William Burt Garrett III. He's retired, but yet he volunteered to go back over to Syria, and so he's patrolling with the men. And
But
I've heard that several times, and I'm like, really? How old is this guy? For one thing, they're not going to have him out on any type of foot patrol whatsoever. And after you get out in the military, who's going to volunteer to go back? I mean, yes, they do volunteer, but after you've been in the military for, I think he was in for 37 years or something like that. It was
yeah,
a
no,
long, long, long time.
that's a
He's
long
not
time.
going to, yeah, he's not going to volunteer to go back. He's ready to retire.
Yes, and I can tell you right now, um, I mean, I did like to go out, but even me, there's only so many times you can knock on wood,
Right. And yes,
because
we do discuss more than military scams. We do discuss other ones, but Caesar is retired military, so he is a very good resource to use when we talk about military scams.
yes, ma'am, the best. Well,
Well, yeah,
no, because you got Miss Ruth, you got Miss Cassie, you got Miss Sandy. Yeah, I'm just right there, right there. I'm right here. I'm right here.
we figure everybody's equal too. We all get equal pay, which of course is nothing because we all do volunteer our time. But yeah, we use Caesar as a military resource. If you want to talk to us about non-military scams, go ahead and contact us
Well, thank you, Miss Jenny.
on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram Messenger. Send a DM and we can discuss it with you. If you have any questions that Ruth and I can discuss next week, that would be great. But yeah, Caesar's a military resource. So, but we're running out of time and
What?
yeah, I know. It goes by
Oh
so
man,
fast
where do I
when
put
you're having
where do I put the
fun.
quarter? Where do I put the quarter, Miss Annie?
I don't
Where do I put
know.
the quarter, Miss
I
Annie?
don't see a slot for a quarter. So we'll have to get you again soon. Ruth is pretty much having me do the ones in the US because of the time difference and her medication. So we'll have to get you again soon and we'll find another more specific topic like the APO, FPO, and stuff like that. So if anybody has any questions for Caesar, particularly about the military, go ahead and send us a message and we will try and get to that.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, Caesar.
Mister, it is always, 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 always my privilege and my pleasure.
There's the flattery.
Ah! No, no.
Anyway, thanks again, Caesar, and we will
No
see you next
problem.
time.
Anytime. We'll see everyone later. Take care, everybody. Take care, Miss Sandy. Have a good one.
All right, bye bye.
All right, bye.